leg rock high. Come on, everybody put your hands together for Jason Mehl.
All right, how's everyone doing tonight? Good? Awesome. All right, so like I said last time, you are going to either hear some great comedy or bad karaoke. All right, so I'm going to try a few new things. I'm going to pepper it in with some new stuff. All right, so I'm going to start off with a few jokes. So I'm at the bar the other day. My friend comes up to me and he's like, Jason, I want to tell you my secret. And I'm like, here it comes. And he's like, I'm sexually attracted to pecans, almonds, macadamias. And I look at him, I'm like, are you fucking nuts? I'm working at, I'm at a steakhouse one time, and the waitress comes up to me, and she's like, I just want you to know, I can speak to the dead. And I'm thinking to myself, this is the weirdest way to say welcome to Outbacks. And I'm just like, okay. And so she's like, she asked me, well, how would you like your steak? And I'm like, I don't know. You're a psychic. Why don't you tell me? And she goes, medium. Talk to the dead medium. We'll give it a minute. Next one's a thinker as well. What's the difference between owning a funeral? I was about to say club. The latest hangout is, dead man's burial here. Morton's Funeral Homes, the poppin' place to be on a Saturday night. What's the difference between owning a funeral home and working in one? The amount you're earning. Earning. That's my last thinker. This one was obviously written a little bit. So we were all inside for COVID, right? If you noticed during COVID, while we were watching TV, every commercial was the same, the exact same. These are troubling times. Times are tough right now. We are all in this together. So step into a Slim Jim. All right, so I'm going to tell you a story, and what I'm going to tell you is actually true. I was a substitute teacher, and one day they brought everyone into the gym, and they had this motivational speaker. So this guy comes in. This guy must have been about 45 years old, yet he was dressed up like a 15-year-old. And he comes in, and he's like, hey, kids, yeah, Fortnite, marshmallow, and he did this thing a lot. He kept doing it. And then all of a sudden, they wheel in this guy, and the music drops to a very low, sad tone. And they wheel in this dude, this big dude in a wheelchair. And he goes, when I was your age, I started doing drugs. I started selling drugs. I made lots of money. I traveled the world, had a lot of friends, a lot of girls, yachts and everything. But then I got hit by a car when crossing the street, and I lost everything. I lost all my money, I lost my drugs, I lost my friends, and that was it. It was all over. And that was the end of his story. And I'm looking around the room. I'm like, did anyone hear what he just said to the kids? Hey, sell drugs. You're going to make a lot of money. You're going to live a great life. Lots of friends, girls, yachts. But just look both ways before crossing the street. So, I got to be honest, it's very hard dating. It's really hard dating, especially when you're married. Very difficult. Are there any other single people in the audience? By the way, this is my girlfriend's favorite part. But yeah, I mean, trying to get back into the dating scene. I'm trying to lose weight. I gained a lot over COVID. I wrote a whole bit about how I'm going to lose weight, but because I gained, I'm going to have to do this all in reverse. But I did lose a lot of weight. I was obese, and people asked me what was it like struggling with obesity. And I have to be honest, obesity was not a struggle. Obesity was delicious. Losing weight, That's the struggle right there. So did you guys ever hear of Ancestry.com? Everyone that was here last week has. But for everyone that's not here, so Ancestry.com is basically a website where you pay to hear stuff that you already know. You know, so it's like, it's like, oh, my grandmother is from Germany. Let me see. Wait a minute, I'm German? What? So crazy. I feel like I could just do that. Like, I could almost read a room like one of those people that, claim that they talk to the dead. Second time I'm referencing that. But yeah, I'd just be like, you there. Based on your complexion, I can tell you're 100% earthly. And there you go, 100% accuracy. But I would love to be proven wrong one time. I would love for someone to be like, no, Jason, actually, you're They just start sprouting tentacles, and they're telling me how they're going to destroy this planet. And I'm like, you know what? You don't even have to worry. Give it a few months, give it a few election cycles, and the planet might actually destroy itself. And what I love about that joke is it goes, it could be for Republicans, it could be for Democrats, it goes both ways, because it's Pride Month. And then, what was that? Where was I going? I'm gonna sing the Stalin song right now. And then you would get, this woman that's in this commercial, and she's like, she'll be like, I realized I was related to Joan of Arc, and that is where I get my strength from. And I'm like, you work in a call center, you don't need strength. And then, what was it? Oh, and then I thought to myself too, what if I was related to a king? Would I live my life any differently? No. Maybe. Attention. All Stop and Shop customers. Your prince has arrived! Ah! And for those of you wondering, my Hamilton audition went great. Thank you so much. But also too, for some of the other comics in the audience, I'm gonna say the biggest mistake you can make, please don't do what I did. I told my coworkers I do stand-up comedy. Big mistake, because now all of a sudden they're all my writers, and they want to be like, oh, Jason, you should talk about our jobs in stand-up comedy and what we do. And the whole audience doesn't do what we do. I have to tell them I'm not doing stand-up comedy in front of a room of male escorts. Originally, it was male prostitutes, but with this figure, I gave myself a promotion. And then, like something could happen at the office, right? Like the printer could jam. And they'd be like, hey, Jason, you should joke about the printer jam. And I'm like, there's no way that could be funny. But anyway, one time I was at the office, right? And I'm looking around, and I couldn't find my forms. I'm like, where'd they go? Well, it turns out the printer jammed. Huh? Oh my God, it was great. But also, too, I have a friend that bakes. She made this really good fruit preserve spread. And I was telling my friend about it. She emailed it to me. I'm like, hey, my friend emailed me this really good fruit spread. It goes great on toast. And he's like, can you get me a copy? And I'm like, yes, absolutely. I will print her jam. Recipe. See, we're back at the office. You cannot leave the office. Another thing, too, about being in the office, you always need to be professional. A term I cannot stand. Why? Because it means that you have to just have this certain standard, You have to wear a suit and a tie. A tie is the most ridiculous thing you can wear because it covers up your buttons because you have the modesty of a Victorian prostitute. I got to cover up all my buttons. And then you also have to do something else, which is take sexual harassment training. Sexual harassment training, some of these videos are a little far-fetched. It's like you get this guy, right? And he walks up to a girl, and he's just like, hey, what's up, new intern? How about I do a little, Now, please click on the option where Braxton went wrong. Please click the option that says where Braxton went wrong. Please click, that's right. He forgot to wear his tie. Thank you all so much.